and today I want to talk a little bit about DAWWAY and DAWWAY Lite. I found this video quite difficult because I'm a little constrained with the size of the window. So I've come up with this way of doing it. It is quite an impactful application and you are going to want to give it lots of space. There's a good reason for that, and hopefully that will come across in this video. You've got various meters, and I'll just click through a few of them now. And you've got settings for each of these as well. But this one is actually the default. You've got peak level readings which come out, and they're adjustable, so you can decide how long you want those on screen. You've got complete control over the meters themselves, and later on I'll show you the settings. But I'll start off by giving you the idea of what DAWWAY is really all about, and that is putting meters directly above your control surfaces. So I've got a control surface here. It's actually just a bitmap, but just to give you the idea. Let's put it down here. You can see what we want is each of these meters above. And let me just turn off playback because I find it a bit distracting. I'll put it on again in a minute. So I want these to line up. So what I can do is I can drag each of these DAWWAY meter bridges or windows, and there are up to 24 tracks with DAWWAY Lite, which, as I say, is completely free. I can match the other banks to this size, and I can say make sure it's the same height. And let's bring in another extender, and because I've already made it the same height, it matches up completely. But I can do whatever I like with any bank, and I can have different sizes and different positions, and that's the whole idea of DAWWAY. I've just messed that up. Let me just put it back. And once you've got your setup like that, you can go into live mode. And then when you're playing it back, you haven't got the window Chrome, I think they like to call it. The other thing I'll show you, different sizes of meters. So we've got smaller ones and we've got larger ones, which go back to medium. I'll leave you on the large ones. They don't actually fit on this screen, but you'll get the gist of it. That's the top of them. Let me just turn that off. I've shown you what the principal idea of DAWWAY was, actually getting meters at your eye line above your control surface and extenders. The other thing I found after I retired and I started doing music was that I wanted to have finer control over meter settings than I could have, or fader settings rather, than I could have with the actual control surface faders. Now there are ways around that, but my way around it was, I'll show you actually, it's probably quicker. I switch these on, and let me just stop the door for a second. The idea is this is giving you effectively micro control over your levels on each of your faders. If I hold the shift key down there, you can see, and I'm watching my fader on my control surface at the moment, and it's not moving, and yet I have that much control, which is exactly what we wanted to have. That's the idea of fader control, and you can do that as you're playing back. You can have complete control, so you can hold the Alt key on your keyboard. You heard that come in quite loudly there. Let's do it with the bass drum. Let's turn the bass drum down. Let's bring it right down and then put it back in the mix. Maybe about there. I don't mind it just clipping a little bit. Probably about there. So that's faders. That's the idea. You can turn it on and turn it off. There's a couple of settings. The fine control I've just shown you. The dB checkbox just switches off the decibels rating as you're moving it or as you're looking at it. So I'll leave that off. Let's just turn that off. I think I said before that's louder in my ears than it is on this video, but it does get a bit annoying. This was actually just meant to be an introduction to DAWWAY and DAWWAY Lite. I think I'm going to keep it an introduction to DAWWAY Lite. So let's go to dawway.co.uk, which is where you can download DAWWAY Lite. There's a lot more information here, including some pictures. That one is the oldest controller I own, which is a Tascam Eastcam US2400. It's a 24-track control surface. Doesn't actually have a lot of features, but has everything that you really need except for meters and displays. So that's where DAWWAY really does come into its own. This one, click it again, Icon Platform M and Platform X, which is one of the older Icon control surfaces, but also great for DAWWAY. Doesn't have meters, and in all honesty, any of the control surfaces, and I have got the P1M and the P1X here, they have meters and they have good displays. They're not as good as the DAWWAY meters and DAWWAY displays. That's the bottom line. This was, until recently, my go-to control surface. I still like it and I still use it. It's an SSL Nucleus 2 16-track control surface. It's probably the best made control surface that I've ever come across. Has everything that modern surfaces have and is supported. Well, I did recently contact them because I had a problem with one of the displays, and they have SSL, that's solid state logic, do still have the parts to support the nucleus, but obviously they're now, for some time now, the UF8 and UC1 and so on are their control surfaces, their modern control surfaces. But if you see one of these, especially if it's going cheap, grab it. They're lovely control surfaces and great for DAWWAY, obviously. What else have I got on this website? I'll let you click through and have a look. I'll take you through the download process. Basically, click on the download button. If you want to give me this information, it's appreciated. Select which DAW you're using. Let's go with, I don't know, Reason. Select your control surface. Let's go with Icon Platform M+. How many extenders? I'm going to say 2. And then you've got the download button there. You'll get and open this file. Just click open. Then it'll go to the website and it will give you, normally it gives you a warning saying, do you want to download? It didn't because it hasn't downloaded it because I already have it downloaded. So it's recognized that. Go straight into configuration mode. And I previously set these two up as my defaults, Icon P1M and Icon P1X. And so I click on those and then they come up and I can set them up wherever I like. Now, if you download DAWWAY Lite, you get 8 tracks out of the box. If you then register it, you get 24 tracks. So definitely worthwhile. This is the registration screen. The subscribe here is just to hear about any changes that are made to DAWWAY, so upgrades or anything in the DAWWAY world of things that is of interest. So feel free to subscribe. Down here, I've got DAWWAY Lite View Product. I'm going to click on that. Pop in your email address, and that's my email address. If you do want to email me, you're more than welcome. If you've got support questions, don't email me because I get so many emails, I'll probably miss them. Go to the support forums and there's a link in the help menu option in DAWWAY. So it's a question of putting in your email, submitting your order, and I'll just remind myself what this actually gives us. Woohoo! Instructions are on their inbox. So you'll get an email, and the email has a registration code. You go into help on the DAWWAY that you've downloaded, put the registration code in, and bang, you'll get 24 tracks. And later on, when DAWWAY does get released, you'll be able to upgrade to DAWWAY as well if you want to. What else have we got? Oh, these are the support forums. That's probably a better way in. It shows all the supported DAWs. As I said earlier, if you've got a problem with your particular DAW installation or any questions, pop them in here and chances are it'll be me that answers them, certainly in the short term, because DAWWAY is so new. That's really what I wanted to show you today. I hope that's been of some value. I'll put the link for DAWWAY download in the comments below. It's just dawway.co.uk, and I look forward to speaking to you maybe on the forums or seeing what you ever managed to get out of DAWWAY that I haven't thought of. I'm sure there's lots of opportunities. Oh, the only thing I'll mention just before I go is at the moment, we're still waiting for the bits that are going to support MIDI 2.0 for Windows. They are coming later this month. One of the things that they'll bring is the ability for DAWWAY to create the ports that it needs itself. Now that's going to make setup a little bit easier, but in all honesty, it's not difficult now, and there are a number of ways to do that. And I'm not going to go through them now, but I will do a separate video showing what's involved. Basically, it's a download and a 2-minute configuration before you run DAWWAY. Okay, thanks so much for your time. I hope you got something out of that. Hope you enjoy it, and see you soon. Bye-bye.